Well, let's take a look now at the new enhancements we have for managing our styles and settings in Civil 3D. We have a great set of personal trainer videos covering styles and settings, and now there are some new tools for managing those. Now picture this scenario, and I know this has happened to all of you. You're in a drawing working and you create a new style that you like for, say, a surface display or maybe a new point style, and you want to use it in a new drawing at some point later on. Well, before, you needed to go open up the old drawing along with the new one, and then using the settings tab, drag and drop it into the new drawing. All of that meant that you had to open up at least two drawings, and I think the biggest drawback to using that method was that you could only do one style at a time. Well, now we have a new tool for handling those styles. The Styles and Settings Manager was a subscription download for 2011, and I know many of you probably did download it. Well, now it's included in Civil 3D 2012. And I'm in a drawing, and I have a drawing out there that I have some styles that I want to bring into this drawing. If I come over here to my tool space, and under my Settings tab, I'll just expand the General and then Multi-Purpose Styles and then the Marker Styles. And you see that I have several in here, and they're all in use. But I need some others from my template so that I can use them a little later on. Well, I have my ribbon on here, and if I go to the Manage tab, I have a new choice here for styles. So let's first take a look at how we can import styles and settings into our current drawing from another drawing. So I'll select Import, and at this point I'll go and select the drawing that I want to use to import the styles from. Now let's talk about first what files to use for importing, and this would normally be done from your template file. And using this tool, you could also keep your template drawing updated with those new styles that you create and even those that you edit. So then you would just open up your template file, run this routine, and keep it up to date. One of the biggest uses for this, I think, is when I get a drawing from another engineering firm or a surveyor. I want to be able to pull in all my styles for my surfaces, contour labels, alignment styles, all those things, and this is a great tool for that. So just keep in mind how you might want to use this tool to get styles from one drawing to another, and also how you can use it to keep your drawing templates up to date. So I selected the drawing that I want to use to import my styles from, and now let's take a look at the Import Civil 3D Styles dialog box. Now this dialog is very similar to many of the dialog boxes you've seen before, but it is important to note the various choices that we have in here. First, up here at the top, we have the name of the source drawing or the file that we're importing our styles and settings from. Below that, we have various buttons here that control the information shown in the dialog box below. Well, first we'll expand our tree completely here, and we'll take a look now at what will be happening when we import our styles. Well, first, if we look under the General settings here, and under there we have the Multi-Purpose Styles, and we have our Marker Styles. And of course, feel free to look down through the list and see what other choices are there. Again, these are all different styles. You will notice for all of the various types of styles which we had to work with that there are basically three categories of what can be done for the styles that we are importing. First, we can import styles so that they are then added to the current drawing. Now keep in mind, even if you misspell or leave out one letter in a style name, it's going to assume that it's a new style. Also, sometimes you'll notice there are choices that are grayed out. That means in the case of styles to be added that they are used as part of another style, such as these markers being part of a label, and therefore they must be brought in if you are importing that label style that uses that marker. Next, if I come down here, we have a section that are for the styles that are to be deleted. Now what this option does is to allow you to delete any styles that are not in use in the drawing. And we'll talk about purging styles in a moment. Now in this case, under markers, there are only two that are not in the drawing that we're bringing them into, and it happens that they're both in use. But if I scroll down here under the feature line styles, you see that I do have a choice here for one that is available to be deleted. Now by default, the delete choice is turned off because chances are that you may use that style. You just haven't yet. And lastly, we have this choice for styles to be updated. And this means that if you maybe changed a style in the current drawing and it differs from the one in the template, then it will be overwritten with the style in the template drawing. So you now see the three ways a style can be brought in. They can be added from the template drawing if they don't exist in the current drawing. They can be deleted in the current drawing if they don't exist in the template drawing. And they can be changed or updated to match the style in the template drawing if they've been changed or modified in your current drawing. Now we want to make sure that we control those actions so that we only do what we want it to do when we bring these styles in. And we have two buttons up here that allow us to control each of those options: the add, the delete, and then the update, so that we can check any of them on or off. And if this were a drawing that I did receive from another firm and I wanted to get all my styles in this drawing, then I would feel pretty confident in leaving all of my styles checked on to be added. So again, I can click here to check on all of the styles to be added to the drawing. So if a style doesn't exist, it will be added. And of course I can also check them all off. Now you may want to use that option if you already have all the styles in your drawing, but you've been monkeying around with them and you just want to do an update and revert all your styles back to the template ones. So it could serve a function to turn that off. And as you can see, and this would apply to the delete functionality as well, you can select or unselect individual styles as well. Next, we have the two buttons that control the selecting and deselecting of the delete styles functionality. Again, use as appropriate for your situation. You may not want to delete any styles. Again, you may be using them later, you just haven't yet. And as I said, by default, the delete styles is checked off. And I think maybe you could just leave it that way unless you can think of a reason not to. And lastly, we have the same selection and deselection functionality for the update styles as well. So the way I think you might normally handle this style importing is that if you're wanting to pull in styles from your template or maybe another project drawing, you would want to select on all to add, check off the delete styles, and then just decide how you want to handle the update styles choice. Now lastly, down here in our dialog is our import settings choice. And this will allow you to import any of your settings, such as your ambient settings for your default layers and such, feature settings, command settings, and those types of things. Now it does not import the drawing settings, such as your scale, your state plane zones, and other drawing specific settings. Now for this, you may want to leave this off unless, as in the case I mentioned, you're working in a drawing from another person or firm and you want to have your ambient layer settings and command settings in this current drawing. Now in my case, I'm going to go ahead and turn it off, and I'm going to press OK. Now it will present you with this dialog just telling you that you're about to use the update option, and any existing styles may be overwritten. So if that's fine, then just go ahead and press OK, and then it will give you an information box telling you that it successfully imported a certain number of styles and settings as well. So now if I go to my settings tab And then under my multi-purpose and marker styles, you see that I have some that have been added and updated from my template drawing.